What's up YouTube? Welcome to Ziangs Oriental Food Workshop. Today is our first video we've done back for a while. Sorry, the summer has been crazy, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, like we promised, we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark ages ago, but like I said, someone was busy, so now we are doing, what are we doing, Mum?
Crispy beef.
Crispy beef. We are going to do a separate video where we show you how to do a quick sweet and sour sauce as a base for this, but if you've watched the previous video on our sweet and sour sauce recipe, that is the best one to use. This quick one is just more of something you can use instead, but that's going to be in a video later down the line. Also, side note, we are teaching you how to do takeaway food, not what we would cook ourselves. Lots of people comment going, oh, you don't put garlic and ginger in fried rice. No, because no takeaway does put ginger and garlic into their standard egg fried rice. Okay? Fantastic. Now, anything you want to say, Mum?
Keep watching.
Yeah, keep watching. Okay, so here we have pre-prepped topside beef. It's been cut into thin strips like this. Now, there is preparation to this. What you have to do is put it into a bath of cold water with salt to draw out all the redness. If you don't, your batter will burn. I'm not quite sure if we've done it long enough today. We only did it for about an hour. Normally it takes 2 to 3 hours and then you change the water and then keep doing it. But we did one turn. We'll see how that turns out. If you don't do it at all, it will burn and you'll get a bitter flavour batter. Got half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of MSG, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, sorry I forgot the word for black pepper, 4 dessert spoons of corn flour or potato starch. Better potato starch. Corn flour doesn't work as well. Potato starch is by far the best for this. If you use cornstarch, it gets crispy, but it doesn't stay crispy. And then we have the secret ingredient, and then we have the secret ingredient, which is 2 dessert spoons of custard powder. Yes, and this gives it the yellowy texture. Oh, and I also forgot we'll need 1 egg. So, on top of all this, 1 whole egg. There are a couple of other ways of doing this. Some places won't use the egg because, you know, it's an egg and that costs money and they'll just use water. But I feel the best flavour and texture comes from when you use the egg. Okay, so I've beaten the egg and I've added a pinch of salt to it, just 1 egg. I forgot to mention there's 400 grams of topside beef in there that I've shredded. So yeah, we'll get on to how to put this all together now. Okay, so we're going to have to put all of these ingredients into a bowl and mix it really well. When you've done that, you want to divide it exactly into 2 halves, because one will be used for a base and one will be used for the final coating, and we will show you exactly what you need to do to achieve those steps after this. Okay, so we got our first half of batter. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the beef straight into it like that and mix it up. You want to coat this. This is a base coating. Mum, can you mix it for me? Just lightly coating it. It's not all going to stick. Some of it will stick and some of it won't. Some places we'll just fry it like this. And then this goes back into another bowl. Just roughly coating. Now you put the cracked egg over this and mix this up. Once you've done this stage, you can leave this for a bit to switch on your oil, and you need to bring it up to a quite high heat. Right, so this bit's actually a bit fiddly. It's not particularly hard, just your hands only get caked in the batter. Isn't that right, Mum?
Yeah.
It's not Mum's favourite job, it's not my favourite job, and I'm really glad we don't do it anymore. It's really, honestly, if you do loads of them, your fingers grow like 3 times the size and you walk around with like marble fingers. Right, I forgot to mention this has to be hot when the beef starts going in, but you need to turn this down. This hot, this gets turned down. If you don't turn that down, it burns everything. But initially when the beef first goes in, it has to be hot. Right, so I am actually doing this because Mum hates getting her hands filthy with this stuff. But all you literally do is you try and separate it as much as you can. You won't be able to separate it properly. And then you just drop it in. The fat now is pretty hot. You're not going to be able to coat it properly, so don't worry, don't get OCD about making sure it's all coated. As long as there's a slight coat, that's how you get your textures and stuff in the batter. So that all goes in there. This is the worst bit. This is the bit where it gets irritating. You then have to come back over here, Mum. Right, so you literally trying to coat it all. Be rough with it. You don't see it's starting to cake up already. Try and get as much batter on to those bits of beef as you possibly can. Now we're going to teach you how to do the crispy beef sauce in the next video. This one we're just teaching you how to do the beef so you guys can get some practice. Otherwise this video would be quite long. So this is good enough for me. If you want, you can actually do it a second time, a third time, but otherwise, if you ask me, the batter just gets a bit too thick. Right, now that's on hot, so we've got to turn it down to about half heat. It has to be hot when it first goes in, but then you want to cook it slowly. Don't worry about it clumping up, just drop them in. Be careful because this fat is hot. You want to get quite a lot of beef into this oil to cool it down quickly as well. Because otherwise, if you don't cool this oil down, it's going to burn, sorry, not turn. Okay, now you want to leave it for a couple of seconds. If you don't leave it, you start knocking the batter off the beef. There we go. See that loveliness there? Oh yeah. You can be a bit rough with it now. Remember, hot when it goes in, and then turn the temperature down. Now is the point where it's starting to get, the batter starting to harden up. You can start beating it around to try and get them separated a little bit. Some places will cut the beef smaller. Okay, so now this needs to sit and sort of, I was going to say boil, sit and fry on a medium heat for about 5-10 minutes. We'll cut back to that. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes since they've gone in, they're ready now. Depending on how, well, they're ready for this stage. Depending on how thick you've cut them will depend on how long you do this for. I had to turn the heat up a little bit because it got a bit cold. If that happens to you and it's not bubbling and it's just sort of swimming, you need to turn the heat up. You need to keep it a little bit crispy. So, now is the odd part. You actually have to take this out. It's not finished yet, so you have to take this out. This is what takeaways do. They pre-cook it like that, and then they leave it. They'll bag it up and they'll put it in the fridge. Most likely, 99% of the time, they'll put it in the freezer. This actually dries it out a lot more. Leaving it in the fridge dries it out a lot more. So you need to wait a little bit, at least I'd say 20 to 30 minutes. Let it cool down, dry out a little bit, and then you redunk it. It doesn't work as well if you don't do that. Mum?
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you're watching the beef, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so you need to let it rest. If you can leave it rest overnight, you get the crispier batter, you really do, because it dries out in the fridge. Something happens in the fridge and it makes it better. If you can't, I don't bother waiting myself. I literally leave it to stand for a couple of minutes, maybe 20-30 minutes, and then I'll cook it if I'm cooking it for myself. I can't wait 24 hours for food. Can you, Mum?
No.
Right, so here's the second part. Mum, if you'd like to add the beef, we'll just put in one portion in. Go on a fairly hot heat, and you'll need to cook this for about another 5 minutes. What you're trying to do is get all the moisture out of that beef as you can, as much as you can. Don't put it on really high because it will burn. Sort of in between high and medium. So mid-high, as we're going to call it from now on. Yes.
Mid-high.
Mid. Yes, mid-high.
Yeah.
Okay. So this should take about 5 minutes. Might take 10. It depends on it honestly depends on how thick you cut your beef.
You can see it's slightly dry now.
Still needs longer.
Yeah.
It's been about 5 minutes, and I reckon they're about done. Yeah. So if you compare that, so that you can see they're much browner. If you don't do the soaking of the beef in the water, salt water, they'll be much darker, and they'll look like they're bleeding. Okay, so these are ready to come out now. Right, so here it is, crispy beef. Now we're going to show you how to make the chili sauce, or the crispy beef sauce, the standard one that normally comes with this. But as Mum pointed out, you can make it as a fancy canapé for your guests, can't you, Mum?
Yeah.
Apparently she used to do this. I don't remember her doing that.
Yeah.
Make these bits with chili. Corn. Oh, really nice.
Yes.
Actually, that's really nice. I can forget the crispy sauce. You just do this. And nice as crisps. So anyway, we're going to do the sauce next video, and the video after that will be showing you how to do a quick sweet and sour sauce. So you don't have to make up loads in one go. You can just do a small batch and then make this as you want it, basically. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like, comment, keep watching.
Yeah.
And remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more takeaway food. For those of you who come to our shop, we will be doing our recipes if the channel ever grows. We can't really tell you guys our recipes right now because otherwise it could take away from our work and we don't get any money from YouTube. So yeah, if this ever grows and has become something, then we'll start teaching you how to cook, how we cook.
Yeah.
Yeah? Anyway, thanks guys. See you next time.